Good morning. We have friends from SP Jain Institute of Management, Mumbai. They are with Grama from 23rd February to March 29th. That's the program. In this program, they will have an exposure to various activities of Grama, and also they have a special assignment of putting in place a digital marketing system, because Grama has got a network of around 1,500 self-help groups, and their membership is to the extent of almost more than 20,000, and they are all women. And our main objective is to provide employment to them. In this background, we have requested our students to put in place a digital marketing system. Before that we actually go into that aspect, I would like to give a brief information about the organization and its background. We have this website, and we generally make use of this website to make a presentation. And see, if you can see the photo, that is an award photo. This award was given to Grama by SP Jain Institute of Management in collaboration with Cummins India. They have a program of giving awards to the NGOs who make best impact in the social field. In this background, for 2016, 15-16, we were given this award, and we have this website which will give you the information about the organization. See, Grama started in 1989. It was started by Mrs. D.M. Girjamma Rudraya. Her husband was an advocate, D.M. Rudraya. He formed this trust, and he interested D.M. Mrs. Girjamma Rudraya to have an organization, because she had a background of working in among women, doing some correspondence course for women, running the Mahila Samajas, and running the Anath Ashrama, that is orphanages, and also creches for working women, and a correspondence course for working women, and she had wide range of experience in implementing adult education program. These were all the programs that were very useful, very impactful, but it was very limited. We thought, some of us friends thought that our experience and the background can be made use, and we can put in place an organization where with her background we can start working in the field, which have a bigger outreach, and that organization should be professionally managed. With this background, this Grama was started, and once that Mrs. Girjamma Rudraya was a trustee of the organization, she invited like-minded people. I was also part. I am D.M. Sridhar. I was working in the government as Additional Commissioner of Commercial Taxes. I retired in 2015, and after retirement, I took over running the organization, because now Mrs. Girjamma Rudraya is 91-year-old. Although she is very active, we cannot expect her to do the micromanagement, and I and the existing team, we are looking after that. And our organization management system is very open and transparent. At the organization level, we have a trust consisting of 5 trustees, and this trustee, we have an executive committee of staff, and one of the trustees will be representing the staff committee, and this is the committee which will take care of the day-to-day running of the organization. Almost all the decisions, except major policy decisions, all the decisions for implementing will be taken by this executive committee. And this executive committee deals with administration, day-to-day administration, and finances, and the financial management is are known to all the executive committee members. This is the arrangement that we have to ensure that there is openness, transparency, and accountability, which are the major good governance principles. The whole organization's main theme is women empowerment. All the programs that we have designed and we are taking up will ultimately help in ensuring women's empowerment. When we discuss each of the programs, we can take up, and I suggest that you can interfere and I can explain. You feel that is better, or should we put the question and answer session to the end?
As in when we have questions, we'll answer.
At the end.
As in when
okay,
if we
fine.
get a question, we'll answer.
Okay. There are 5 different areas in which we are focusing. Women empowerment is the main focus, and institution building is our core competency. And next is financial inclusion. I will come and explain all these things in a detailed way when we take up the programs. Natural resources management is the next one. And the informal education system is also one of the important programs that GRAMA, its own program that we have taken up. And human resource development, capacity building, these are the areas in which we are working. And coming specific to the programs. See now, institution building is the core competency of GRAMA. When I say institution building, that is the people's institution at the grassroots level what we are concerned. Self-help groups are institutions at the grassroots level. Likewise, there are many community-based organizations like village watershed committees, tank users committee groups, and farmers groups. These are all the different kind of people's institutions, and there are also registered societies to manage the watershed development areas. And we are associated with NABARD and NABARD Financial Services and Government of Karnataka and central government programs, where they focus, their main concern nowadays is to ensure that people's institutions are part of any program where at the time of planning and program implementation, after implementing the post-project management, all these things are undertaken by the people's institutions that will ensure people's participation. That's why these people's institutions are important. For you people, it's all most important because it is one of the greatest opportunity I feel for you when you get into the corporate world. You may have very little opportunity to get exposed to like this. So please make your best, get yourself totally involved and make best effort to understand what is happening in the rural India. See, under the institution building, GRAMA has to its credit, having as on March 2016, there are 1,227 groups with the total members of 18,089, and the total savings is 12.85 crores. This is as on March 2016, but as of now, at the end of December, it's 1,540 groups with more than 20,000 women members are in that. It's a big achievement. And you know, when we started in 1991, the whole situation was like this. When people come and take this, organize these groups, and in the groups, the main activity will be the savings and credit activity, where women, they come, meet on a regular frequency every week, they save something, and if they want, out of their own savings, they will take some loan, then they repay their own money, they save, and there will be a bigger amount, and the money is required for 3 requirements. One, consumption needs. That is, whenever there is a health issue in the home, some paying the fees to the children, about up to 1,000, 1,500, less than 2,000 rupees will be the consumption needs. And the second is asset formation. When there is a production requirement, when there is a harvesting season or when the sowing season, the higher money is required. More than 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 is required.
All this is per month, 15,000, 10,000, what you say is per month?
No, what I am telling is that the 3 types of credit requirements in the villages. One is consumption. Every day, day to day, whenever they want for children fees, or somebody has come, guests have come, or when some health issues are there, then 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 rupees requirement is there. That is consumption.
So as and when required, whenever they need it, they withdraw.
These groups, out of their savings, because the importance here is that it is a peer group, everyone knows each one's problem. Earlier there are many government schemes which are not failed, which have failed because from the bankers there is some DIR scheme will be there, they come the same cow, many people would have taken loan, they will not know who has taken loan. It was all a big scam where people really did not receive anything as a loan, they only received it as, they treated it as a grant. Though the loan melas and other things, they did lot of damage than helping the people, because many middlemen try to misuse the whole system. And in this, the three kinds of loan that I said, one consumption, second is production. At the time of harvesting or at the time of sowing, you need a bigger amount, like say 10,000, 15,000. You need for the fertilizers, you need for the seeds and things like that. And the third one is production, asset creation. For asset creation, like having a borewell, constructing some cow shed, and buying some cows, poultry, to set up a poultry unit and things like that, that is the asset formation. So these self-help groups will mostly cater to all the three, but as and when the group grows, initially that was helping them to meet the consumption requirement. Their own money, they are managing these things. The advantage of all these things that women could come out of their houses, sit in one place and discuss and have a discipline. They all brought under an institutional discipline.
Okay.
Coming at a time, regularly meeting and conducting the meetings and recording the meeting proceedings and deciding democratically who needs money. If somebody has not repaid the money, ensure that coercive action to get back the money. We have witnessed all wonderful things happening. All these things help the women to come out of the house. They were brought into the institutional discipline, and also that helped them to command more respect from community and the family, especially family members and the community. That is the status. You can see physically, you can go and see, check all these things when you're in the field. All those self-help groups will be interacting, and on these lines you can question them, and you will be able to hopefully get the right answers that we have addressed to these kind of issues. This is the institution building, and the institution building like the Grama right now has 1,500 groups with 20,000 members. Our challenge is now, when we have brought them together, put them in an institutional discipline, now we have to show them a way. Earlier we used to think that we form the groups and leave it them. We have done it, more than 5,000 groups have been formed, but now the things have changed. What we are seeing in our own case and other cases mainly, that groups will be there as long as we interact with them. Afterwards, that reason for the savings and credit will enable them to continue with the group, and this will be an occasion to use them for imparting various kind of education and awareness and other things. And now when it comes to women empowerment, and it's not just economically they get empowered, they should be able to politically be empowered. And this, once they're brought under this discipline, they will be exposed and told the importance of participating in the Panchayat Raj institution. That's how ensuring their political interference. Otherwise, you can see clearly the difference between the women forming part of the self-help group who are representing in the local Panchayat, Gram Sabhas and Jilla Panchayats. There, they are not influenced or guided or remote controlled by men. They are independent, they can think independently, they can even represent some of the problems that they are raised in the group. And women in the group, they do enforce or coerce the women who is representing them to take up certain this issue. That's how political empowerment is being achieved to a considerable extent. The most critical is the social empowerment. This is in a patriarchal setup over thousands of years. Women, whether it is urban women, rural women, whoever it is, forward community, backward community, whoever it is, they are all discriminated against. And there is a need to have a positive discrimination in favor of women. And to change the political, change the social setup, whether it is a domestic violence, and the most critical will be the changing the attitude of men, husband particularly, towards women is most important. To achieve these things, one way is that that is economically make them strong, so that they will be able to acquire the ownership of the property. They are not getting the present. They are able to command respect because of their. They have been able to become a earning member in the family. With all these things, their social respect will ultimately. We expect this will lead to change their position in the society, in the family, in the community, and men's attitude towards women should change. This is what we are working towards and aiming at. Hopefully these things are gradually changing. We can see the difference. I can see what is there, what was there during 25 years back, and what is happening now. So this is the situation that we are seeing, and hopefully these things will be strengthened, and we should be able to come out of this age-old influence of patriarchal system and help women to come out of this rut.
This financial inclusion that you spoke about, so basically as a community,
It has not yet come of financial inclusion. We are still in institution building. In institution building, as I said, that Grama's core competency is institution building. We have been, because of that reason, we are into many projects like NABARD Financial Services Microfinance Project and Natural Resource Management, Watershed Development, Organic Program, in all these things, because we have the capability to mobilize people, put them in an institutional form, discipline, and engage these people through an institution of their own.
So currently the stage that they're at, so do they also undertake a lot of initiatives themselves, or do you have to...
That's what is expected.
Okay.
See, initially we promote, we facilitate, and then onwards our role will change.
Right.
We will only guide them, train them. They should be on their own. Most of them, they are on their own.
Okay.
Is
So
there
right now
any
the stage... So right now that's the stage is still at that stage where you people push them into doing something, or...
No, we are there exposed to various kind of trainings. I'll just come to you what are the training that we have imparted, and they are exposed to various kind of with the Grama initiative or otherwise naturally, or by the other forces like political system, Panchayat Raj institutions will enable women to come, because now the reservation at the Gram Panchayat level is 33% for women. So in all this process, they should be prepared, they should be capable of making use of these systems available within the system, facilities available within the system. And you can see that independent community-based organizations like, as I told you, tank users groups, village watershed committees and village farmers committees, they all, it is the government and other sources, contribution itself is 28.1521 crores. Total capitalization of all these institutions is more than 45 crores as on date. Now I am coming to this part of financial inclusion. See, in our country, to get loan for a well-established corporate or individuals, whatever, it's just a matter of cakewalk for them. Mr. Vijay Mallya can get 800 crores from Bank of India. Anybody, it will come to their mind, if you think of that. Even today, in a village, even for a villager, to get 1,000, 2,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees also is not very easy. They have to go to the bank, they have to go through various procedures, and they have to sign various documents. And government has come up with a lot of schemes, but this problem has not gone out of this thing. So in this area, we are working in 3 areas. One, facilitating and promoting them to have their own financial management system of self and savings and credit system, being part of the self-help group. That's one. Second is microfinance. We are associated with NABARD Financial Services, and we have last 1.5 years, about 13.75 crores have been disbursed as loan. About 10.45 crores has been repaid. In the field now is hardly 2 to 3 crores, and every month there is a regular repayment. And if you see the potential of these women, what Grama has promoted and monitoring now, we have ourselves got a big potential to become the microfinance institution. Anyway, there is big dilemma among ourselves whether Grama as an NGO should become a microfinance institution or not. Now we are planning. We don't have to become really a non-banking financial company to become a microfinance institution. There are other instruments also like so are the cooperative society and other things. We are checking out the possibility, because what happens when you go to an established organization like NABARD Financial Services, they have their own criteria. We have run 1,500 groups. So far we have given loan, we have facilitated providing microfinance to only about 250 groups. There are a large number of other groups, they are in need, they want it. First we grade them into A, B, C and D. Only A and B are eligible for getting this microfinance loan when we associate with NABARD Financial Services. Of course, what is the grading system, how it is done, like depending upon the regular attendance, frequency of meeting, frequency of saving, frequency of taking loan and repaying, and these are all the various criteria which will make one self-help group either in the A grade, B grade, C and D grade. Now what we need is that to provide service for all these groups, we need a support, financial support. We have to have at least for every group one field coordinator. And now I will be asking you people to also study how we can put in place a replicable, self-sustainable institution, people's institution program. Like suppose if you take 50 groups and there is one coordinator, he has to work, he has to be paid. This traveling and other things are there. And when you go there, you make all the inquiries and see how a unit of 50 groups can be formed. And there will be a specified number of people and specified activities can be checked out, so that can be run continuously without financial support. Grama will be there only as a supporting the training, providing facilities, monitoring and managing the whole thing. But the fund should be generated within those groups, and it is not difficult. There are various possibilities that you have to think of and make a suggestion.
The self-help groups are already doing this.
Yeah, self-help groups are already functioning. They are taking up some savings and credit activities. They are taking up issues relating to the political issues, community issues, and whatever it all depends upon the things that happen in and around those self-help. We have got examples when they have been able to successfully close down the liquor shops and make the school, informal education school system run, and facilitating women of their choice to contest the political Panchayat Raj institutions, and various kind of activities they will be getting involved. This, if it has to be strengthened further, if you want to hold them together, at least we should form one unit of around 50 groups, and Grama through one of its staff should be able to provide them some service. What kind of service is required? Auditing of these groups, maintaining and managing the books and other things. Though they are one or two people among them will be identified as representatives and done, and they will have to facilitate that, oversee that, and that should happen regularly. So you try to come out with one suggestion of how to make one unit a replicable and self-sustainable unit. If this can happen, and there is no limit for your expansion, because I am not expanding, there is a lot of demand, mainly because we'll have to maintain staff, we need financial support. And the kind of support that we expect, like NABARD has got a scheme, and other people have got a scheme. They will only support and they will monitor, and every donor will have to tailor our work and change our mindset to suit their criteria. Instead, we can develop, we have got rich experience, lot of social mobilization capability has been developed. We can develop, only thing is that we should make at least one unit which will become self-sustainable. It should be able to generate sufficient funds, and we should be able to run it, make it run on its own.
So this whole loan and financial inclusion is only for the units that are part of Grama and not outside. Like if you want to avail a loan or something, you will have to get into the Grama first, and then you will get the loan amount.
Individually, they can get all the facilities in their own capacity. But there is an advantage, like if they come as a part of the group, NABARD recognizes, NABARD Financial Services recognizes, and we have to sponsor it. We have to say, we have to watch, oh, this group is capable, we can pay. Then they will pay it. The advantage is that being part of Grama network, and we will watch for their quality and repayment of this thing. They are only concerned with the repayment. They are doing business. And we are only, they are using us as people to give some kind of guarantee. May not collateral or fiscal guarantee, but because of our relationship with the people, they depend more on us.
And this savings, so as a unit, all the women come together, they put in their savings, and then there is like one central saving which is all pulled in, and then whoever needs it is allotted money.
Their own money. Apart from that, they can also take loan from financial institutions for
This
a
is
bigger. Apart from this,
This is where NABARD.
this is when NABARD Financial Services or local banks, financial Gramina banks are there, Canara Bank, so many banks will be supporting them, and each one will their only business. They want to lend and ensure that money comes back. But Grama doesn't look at that way. We prepare people to access credit. That's the importance that the role that Grama plays. Okay, and these people are comfortable lending to those organizations if you watch for it. That's what is happening in case of microfinance arrangement that we have with the NABARD Financial Services. And the third aspect of this financial inclusion is micro insurance. So far, we never had. They were talking about that. Now we have an MOU with Life Insurance Corporation. Whomever we lend, we ensure that they also are covered by insurance. Micro insurance scheme, LIC has come out, and to cover a risk of 50,000 to 75,000, a small premium is charged, and that is taken care.
That premium is paid by Grama or
Paid by the staff. Grama doesn't have it, so we are
It
only
just
facilitators.
helps
We
them.
are not like Infosys Foundation or Azimzi Foundation with lots of huge money, or Bill Gates Foundation. We are only development workers.
So you facilitate them. to
We
get these
facilitate them.
facilities.
And we also don't believe in this charity kind of activity. We only believe in that making, prepare and train people, prepare them to access the facilities available within the system. There's a lot of system, Government of India, Government of Karnataka, they come out with people favoring systems, programs, but they should not be able to access it unless they are prepared for it. We ensure that they prepare and access those facilities. That is the role that we are playing. Okay, and micro insurance is one important program that we have. So these are the three: financial inclusion. When we talk about financial, what it is? The whole idea is that only the people above certain limit in India are capable of accessing the credit from the financial institution. What about these people? How to help them? So their own savings and credit will help them, and microfinance supported by NABARD Financial Services and other institutions, they will do it. And micro insurance now, LICs come up with a program so that we try to include those people in this to access these facilities that is available.
And the livelihood of these women, they are mostly into farming, or is there any?
No, mainly in rural setup, their dependency is on the farm. We have to work towards taking the pressure off the farm and make them independent. I'll come to those aspects next and how we are trying to establish all these things. And microfinance you'll be seeing in the field. Actually, these are the figures like this. As on March 2016, that is total SIG supported are 200, but we have 1,500 and odd.
Okay.
NABARD Financial Services are only supporting this much. And total beneficiaries 2,540. Total amount disbursed is 6.89. But now, as on date, it is 13.75 crores. And repayment here it is 2.85, but repayment is more than 10 crores. Those figures, latest figures, you'll be seeing when you go to the field. Okay. And these are all 15-16 programs. And under natural resource management, I said that women empowerment is the main focus. You may ask me how it is. Of course, financial inclusion program, you can very well clearly see how it can support women in their this thing. Under natural resource management, what happens? You should understand the basic thing. See, for poverty, there are two things. One, man-made problems are there,
Mm.
natural problems are there. Natural is that famine, drought and things like that. Man-made is that indiscriminately using chemical fertilizers, pesticides and spoiling the land, cutting the trees and adopting some unscientific methods where you will may reap immediate benefit, but in the long run that's not a sustainable kind of a thing. So what is important here is in the natural resource management, first thing is that watershed. Watershed program, that watershed means, what it means. Right? ISRO has mapped the whole Karnataka state and identify micro watershed and macro watersheds. Several group of micro watershed will become macro watershed. Each micro watershed will have a plateau, will have an upper ridge and lower ridge, height difference. And whenever there is a rainfall, water flows from the upper ridge to the lower ridge. And all that we have to do is that capture that water within that area and ensure that the groundwater water, because rainwater is the most purest form of water, and hold it back and then see that. To hold it back, there are several kind of structures like this. Ponds, check dams. When you go there, each one of them will be explained to you in detail and you will have an idea about what are the different kind of structures. Check dams are there, culverts are there, different farm bunding type 1, type 2 and all these trenches and other things, so that when the heavy rain is there, that is controlled and held within this thing. Unfortunately, what happens is that you cannot just take one 5 acres land and do that, because the influence of others also will be there. So we have to identify an area and develop this. And watershed this thing development actually it will result in improving the food security, livelihood systems will improve and more economic activities can be done there. And water, see in some cases water, women have to travel a long distance, women or men, and get the water. That kind of situation can be avoided, it can be improved. You know what happens in any of this, in the poverty generally, it affects poverty situation, famine situation, it affects first immediately women in the family, in the wherever. And women in the backward communities, backward castes and poor people are affected the most. Women first, everywhere, whether it's urban setting, rural setting, whenever there is an adverse situation, they have to bear the maximum brunt. And then the poorer communities, backward classes, backward communities will be the most affected. And these situations ultimately will avoid women getting into that kind of situation. Why I am telling you that all the programs that we are doing will ultimately result in empowering women, economically, politically, as well as socially.
And this
This
work
situation-
is also done by women only? Or?
No, all both.
Okay.
And all these things, the NABARD or whether it's Government of Karnataka, Government of India, the main focus is people's participation. They will show you, they will have, first what they do in the watershed, before taking up the actual project, all villagers, everybody with all survey numbers, the whole country is mapped by survey number wise, village and survey number, state, district, village survey number will be identified, and each one survey number they map it out. In the map it out, and in a farmer in each survey number, he will suggest that this is the kind of structures we have to put in. These are the bunds or the culverts and the check dams and whatever that is required to conserve water and soil, they will suggest. And also the experts from the department, from the organization will be there to oversee these things. And finally, all the map is there, plan is prepared by involving people and implemented. Some formal societies will be formed and the money comes to those societies under their direction, and the money will be spent for all the work that is done. See, that's how people's participation is ensured, and these things are happening. Some, if you can see that photo, means that some his own farmer's land, he will also take interest and do the work naturally, and he has to make some contribution also. If 80 rupees is paid by the organization, NABARD or anybody, and 20 rupees has to be paid by the farmer. That's how the schemes are generally under the watershed development program. So these are the structures you can see. This is a check dam, and that's the bunding when the rainwater comes. Because you can see, there can be no replacement to the kind of water that is available when it rain comes, and no human effort can make that kind of water be available anywhere. Because that is all pervading, and is definite. Even the area in which you are going to visit is the lowest rain-fed area in the country. That's Parashurampuram, that belt. That's known for that. Even there is water. Rainfall is there during rainy season. There is some water, but you have to contain that. You have to preserve that. Under your LEVA project, we came up with the LEVA project for one reason. I'll explain that. In the organic farming, I'll come to the LEVA project separately and explain. This organic farming, what happens, that because of the pesticides and chemical fertilizers and what we eat, we don't know what we are eating. We may be eating really poison. But the thing is that we have to get the whole community involved in this. We have to make first people convince. But when you talk and go and talk about the organic farming, it may look like fashion. You are only talking something elite urban fashion. Swami, now uta madbekili. We need to get food first. When you start this program, then the yield will come down. Actually, for 2-3 years, they will have to compensate the farmers. The problem is there. And marketing also, that is certification and all these things. A lot of procedures are there. And organic has to be branded, has to be produced, and we have to set up farmers, producers, organizations, and through it the farming has to be done. All this effort is going on. We have achieved, like so far, you can see in our this thing, about 410 different beneficiaries are there, and about 1 crore 32 lakh has been spent, and so far we have organized around 539 hectares, that is around 1500 acres of land has been covered in the area in which you are working. But watershed is a very much impressive this thing. We can see the area in which the watershed program was implemented, and we have facilitated, Grama has facilitated, whether it's an NABARD program or Government of Karnataka or Government of India program, 33,765 acres of land has been covered under the watershed program. And I am proud to say that this huge number can be much more. Only thing is that we are not happy with these institutions, but they look at it as somebody that we are going to do things free of cost. I think they have charity in their mind. We are not people. We have to engage people, and if you pay peanuts, you will get monkeys. That is the kind of situation. We need to make our staff comfortable and get a good work done, and that is one wonderful thing that anybody will, when they come to the organization, they will see that the kind of commitment, involvement by the staff, and their salary is not too high. But we need to change that situation. And any of this program, they don't consider that as an important aspect. Anyway, that's a different, that's why we are trying to make Grama mobilize resources on its own, so that at least our permanent staff, those who are involved, they should be comfortable. And they are the ones who will, in any development, this thing, there are three things. One is an organization which is implementing. Second is the staff who are implementing it. The organization decides on the policies, staff actually implement it. And the main thing is the people with whom we are focusing. These are the three criteria. And these three areas will have to, and we are there only because people have got problem. Otherwise, I and you don't have any business. Let's be frank about it.
Yeah.
And we have got some good intention to do something good. But what good you are going to, because there are people who have got problems. That's what we are doing. And who is going to do it? I am not going to do everything, all this in the field. My staff, they work day in and day out. They are the ones who will take care of these things. And I will be the providing leadership, and I will be guiding them and framing the policies. The most important is people. Second most important is staff who are working in an organization. Third is the organization.
This 33,000 acres that is covered by this watershed, that is like approximately what fraction or percentage of the total land that these people have?
Total land will be, see, we are going to take I tell you, there is one, they identified as a micro watershed area. It will have around 1,000 or 1,500 acres. In the smaller micro watersheds are formed. Like that. See, any given area, see in the mapping, you can say whole Karnataka has been mapped, identified watersheds and micro watershed. We will pick up one area.
Oh, okay, like that.
But not every area from A to Z will, it's not like carpet bombing like, only some areas are identified.
Okay.
ISRO has, by satellite, they have identified the pockets, watershed areas. And they also identified the micro. Those are the areas we pick up for treatment.
Okay.
So total beneficiaries are more than 15,000. Total area covered is, beneficiary means it's representing one farmer. And in these watershed programs, there are laborers, there are owners of the land, there are laborers and marginal farmers also. For those who are not having land, there is also a program, it's an integrated approach, where every population in a given area is taken into account. Women's self-help groups are formed, men and women's village watershed committees have been formed. These are the people's institutions, and through these institutions, these programs are implemented. In organic farming, I have given you the details. This project LEVA, I would like to focus on that. It is a part of our natural resources management program. We have identified over a period of time, after 25 years of experience, what we have seen is that all these programs, yes, they are there, they are doing their own good, and but there is a limitation. We have seen actually what is the problem at the field level. Two problems we have identified that requires immediate attention. That is the farmers issue. Second one is the children issue. In farmers, you know what is happening in the area where we are going, even people offer to us take their land and do something free of cost. And the situation is such that if you put your hands into that farm, take loan and mobilize funds and come and do so, you will simply burn your fingers. Because either two things, it's continuous exposure to the sun, it has become totally dry, or it is excessive use of pesticides and chemical fertilizers. Soil is dead. How that it can be improved? See, for an environment, you have to create a micro environment. In the micro environment, how do you create this? First, you have to create a shade. Land should be protected from the hot sun exposed. In that situation, it is possible that you have to create the moisture in the soil. When the moisture in the soil is created, then the microorganisms can develop. When the microorganisms develop, they can absorb moisture from the atmosphere. What plants need is not water. Going for huge borewells for 400, 500, 800 feet and taking borewell and all that is sheer nonsense. Big dams, in my opinion, are meaningless. What we have to do is that you have to focus on making use of the rainwater, harvesting, most important, it is available abundantly and there can be no replacement for that. Only some areas you get it and people don't use the water properly. In wherever there is a dam area, water flows from the higher lid, from the near the dam to the lower quarter. By the time that comes to the end users will not get the water. Indiscriminate using of the water. By indiscriminate using of the water, that salinity has increased and the land has been spoiled. These major projects have got an adverse impact. But still are fighting. People are fighting for the dams and other things. I don't know why they do that. But what they should do is they have to create a micro environment. They have to first protect. We started with a small experimental project that is hopefully you will be shown that. In your area about 4 acres or 5 acres land, first you have to protect your border so that pesticides or other things will not enter into your land. Second is that you have to plant water resistant plants. You can see that in 5 rows, different rows, they have identified the water resistant plants and they have planted. And you have to start planting it at the time of beginning of the monsoon, when the first monsoon sets, and we have to take care of these plants 2 summers. And the 3rd summer onward, they will be on their own. And they would have grown, some shade is created, and gradually they will start growing later. When this happens, what happens? Shade is created. And you also have to implant some, during the rainy season, some fertilizer quality plants are there. Those plants have to be sown, and you have to make the soil rich. And when the shade is created and you build structures to hold the water, like bunds and whatever that is required, and what structures are, if you go to the web, you can get wonderful examples what is happening elsewhere in South Africa, India, and various people have contributed a lot. And all this will finally lead to a good environment where the crops can be grown and a micro environment is created. But the thing is, how the farmers will sustain themselves for 2 to 3 years? $1 million question. If you go and tell about this, if you go to an agricultural expert, if you go to a politician, if you go to a banker, anybody, agriculture, they all say how to grow a good crop. But how to deal with this? I'll give you 10 acres of land, dry, barren, nothing is there, and it's a big loss if you try to do anything like that. But do you have a plan how to do it? This is the kind of plan we have to bring in. That's what we conceived this LEVA project. And here the $1 million question is how till the land becomes productive, how you are going to survive. What is the answer for the farmer? Because of that, no farmer will come and take such projects, because he has how to survive for 3-4 years. Now, for that we thought that you can see that is one poultry, not hybrid quality, and your animal husbandry, that also not hybrid quality. All those things are failures. You should have local variety of poultry, local variety of sheep, and local variety of cows, gomatas. They are the ones, they may not give you wonderful yield, but they will fertile your land and all these things. Whether it's sheep, this poultry, this gomatas, they will improve the quality of your land. But they don't yield, show you 20 liters, 30 liters of milk every day. And in that area, even that is a nightmare. That doesn't happen, because you have to create an environment of a different type for that kind of cows to give that kind of yield. People only think in numbers and adopt that, then they'll fail and they'll get into indebtedness. But people don't accept it, because they don't see any, for at least 3-4 years, they don't get good yield. But here, with this kind of program, if you support farmers who's willing to come up with this, in 6 months' time, you can make him earn something. From poultry, from sheep rearing, from raising local variety of cows, gomatas, and buffaloes. They are the best this thing. But people don't get convinced. You need to gather the opinion, change the opinion, support them. And we wanted to have a program where you take a farmer, you ask them, the farmer, you work as a laborer in your farm. You want to put in place some this thing. We'll just give you for your survival. Do what we say. Because otherwise they just don't do it. Even now, because of the various schemes like beneficial schemes that Annabhagya, that this Talibhagya, so many things, and they can earn money without working. They get 1 rupee rice and they sell it for 15 rupees and they can survive. These government policies will also adversely impact the development initiatives. Anyway, we have to talk and do and things within our limitation. This is something we cannot do anything about what government does, and we cannot entirely rule out that is a bad scheme. There are people who are suffering and dying, and if such people, it is expected from these schemes that make them survive so that they will go and access to this thing. But that should happen. Theoretically, it's excellent. If it doesn't happen, theoretically in our water management programs, after the program is implemented, people have to manage the projects, but doesn't happen. World Bank has come up with a theory that people's participation at every stage, planning, implementation as well as post-management. Post-project management is not happening. That's why we want to be present there. And one program will be this self-help groups and the microfinance, so that our people can be present and we can facilitate those continuation of the project. Because our main problem is for an organization like Grama, with all the good intentions, we need to survive, we need to support our staff with the proper salary. For that we need to generate resources so that all the effort that we have made will become sustainable.
And
This is the
for these alternative income, this thing, who's providing the finance?
No, we are not doing this is possible, but we have to ensure this. For that, on an experimental basis, one plot we have made, we wanted to have this thing, but now NABARD, in association with KfW Germany as a big bank, they are supporting in all these watershed development projects which have been completed, which we have implemented. Post-project management, they are talking it in a different language. They're climate proofing. Whatever we say about LEVA, same thing. NABARD is supporting in a different program called climate proofing. Ultimately, the end result will be the same as that in LEVA. That's why we are holding back and going on our own, because it requires huge investment. And they are doing it, you will be taken to that place. Detailed project report has been finalized in NABARD's climate proofing project. And climate proofing project, if you closely study, whatever the result that we want to achieve at a LEVA project is the same thing. That's why we are going slow on our own, because that also required a huge investment. Once this is done, maybe we'll be able to influence people and influence the financial institution to support this kind of projects.
But this fact where you told that the land is exposed to the sun all day because that it gets dry and barren, like developing shade for that means, won't it be a huge area to cover?
No,
shade?
your land, how much land you got? 5 areas. You start with covering 1 acre in the first rainy season, then you take up the second, third, because you need to, huge investment will be there,
Yeah.
covering all the 5 acres. First we take out half acre or 1 acre, you stabilize it over a period of time, but this kind of patience we will have.
And they also need
Or nobody support this kind of a project. There are examples, if you want you can see those examples. One in near Davangere and one near in Tiptur. If you are interested, you can go and visit them. One professor who was in GKVK, he came out and 18 years back, he resigned and started. He has struggled like anything. If you see his project, it's wonderful, it's good, but you don't feel enthusiastic because the kind of struggle, who is going to do all that? We have to put in place a model which is more attractive, which should give result. Like that's why I'm telling you, with all this local variety of poultry, other thing, within 6 months you can see some money. And they can start doing that. But mindset has to change. Because when I start doing this and somebody comes and gives Anna Bhagya 1 rupee rice and you will go to sleep. It is very conflicting situations. What is required, what is happening, and something is good in those schemes also. But that will adversely impact the development initiatives. Various kind of complications. It is a very complex situation. It's not easy just like press a button and get a result. And now we'll come to our next our own project is informal education system. See, with our experience, what we have seen is, how much time I have got? 1 o'clock? Okay, I'll try to finish it as early as possible. This is the last phase. In our rural children, they are not in a position to compete with the urban counterparts. For the reason that if all of us, including me, in that environment, if we had studied, we would have not crossed more than 2nd or 3rd standard. We would have been a dropout in any situation. In schools, what happens is that one in environment, an unfriendly teacher, all these factors will drive to become so now
also probably because if they do end up studying till like 12th grade, then they're going to be missing out on the opportunity of earning during that phase. So they think short term. So like instead of continuing education, if they can start working on the field, then it's immediate income for them. So that way.
Yeah, you mean an opportunity where you earn and also learn.
No,
That kind
like-
of a situation should be created.
That kind of situation should be.
And
Yeah.
for education, they'll need to put in more money. Their
Yeah.
parents have to like finance.
Exactly.
Let's come this way. Let me finish it, and that's a different this thing altogether. Now these are the constraints, and in for village students in villages, whether a girl child or a boy child, English is a problem, mathematics is a problem, computer is a problem. Along with this, homework parents cannot support. This will result in an embarrassment situation in the classroom. When that embarrassment is there in an unfriendly environment with an unfriendly teacher, then natural consequence is that leaving the school.
But embarrassment as in the classroom, all the students will have this similar problem, right? All of them will have problems in English.
Some people are capable of withstanding and they will come out. Some people can't, they will just drop out. This is what we realized from our experience in the field. So we thought that we should put in place a system. We are not, as a government has got all the facilities. Schools, hospitals, everything is there. It's people's responsibility to take, people's institutions' responsibility to take on and see that this functions well. If you are in the village, then the teacher will also come, doctor will also come. Nurse will also attend. Medicines will be made available. If you are not alert, and just simply these things may vanish, they may not be available. That kind of a situation has to be created. People should become aware about their rights and all these things. These are all the associated issues that you can imagine very well, and when you go to the field you can appreciate these kind of these factors. See, now in the informal education system, now we thought that we tried on some different way, but it didn't work. How to make the child take interest in studies? If the child takes interest in studies, you raise that one issue. It's applicable equally to all students, and some people still leave the school. If they take interest in studies, they should be, you cannot make child, you people, you must be good readers, maybe reading various kind of books. The habit that is developed, we don't know. It's because of the peer influence or whatever, parents influence, whatever. That kind of a situation is not available in a village situation. We should create a situation where the child will take interest. And that requires, it's a challenge. That requires a lot of big input, effort is to be made, and Grama can mobilize people. It has got a big network of self-help groups, and we can make them involved in these things. But we don't have the technical research facilities. So what we did is that we approached Christ University, Bangalore. I spoke to the Vice Chancellor, and they were readily acceptable for this proposition. So we have an MOU with Christ University, Bangalore, where they'll provide the research and other inputs. Training also they do that. Running the school, we take the responsibility. But our idea is that how the school should be. See, what happens is that if there is Narayan Murthy or Yadim Premji come, they'll be using crores of rupees building, put a complex and make children appointments. All that is possible. But how many? We have got 6 lakh villages in India. How many Narayan Murthis, where all they can do all these things? We want to develop a model which is replicable and sustainable. Self-sustainable and replicable model. How does it happen? See, by this research, we are not going to run a parallel school. After the school hours, the children will come, spend time. They should be able to learn things and take interest in education.
More
For
like
that,
tuition.
Huh?
Something more like tuition.
Some online program.
No, there are various possibilities. Now when you go back and you can come up with all your suggestions to improve all these things, okay? How this practically what happens, what is it? So what we thought is that if it has to become we can put it in place a replicable system, but how to put in a self-sustainable system? So when this system, whatever that the children spend there, it helps them to take interest in studies. and parents are convinced and children are convinced, it's not a problem for them to make the payment. So you have to come up with a system, come up with a training program, a teaching program, where that is the responsibility of the Christ University. They have come up with a syllabus, they have trained our teacher, and one school is running now. When we expect that March 31st that will be over, and this June it will start. When we start, we are already started talking to our parents that if you make the payment and if you take care of your teacher, then the self-help group will be in charge of that school. We will provide all the input that is required. Christ University will do all the research kind of things, whatever that is required. Even whatever the fund that they are capable of getting the fund, because of the Christ University name will mobilize the funds and all these things. And students from Christ University every month, about 50-60 students come and spend with us. Last 6 months they have not come. I think from March onwards, when you are there, they may probably will come. Whatever that happens in Grama, you think that you are part of it. When they come, you check out the program. When you are there, if they are there, you check out the program, interact with them, and you see how usefully they can spend time, which will be useful to the organization, which will be useful to the people. You always keep in mind your presence here, how it is going to be useful to you, to the organization, to the people, to the society. Ultimately, I have to give a report that how your impact, your presence here has been useful to the organization and to the society. So you keep this in mind and see, finally your report should tell me that how you have been useful to us. Okay. This is about informal education system. Human resource development. See, so far, as per these figures, this last year figure, 30,737 people have been benefited under various kind of capacity building programs. There's a entrepreneurship awareness program, what I call it, EAP, entrepreneurship EAD development program, skill development program like this. Now there is a ministry for skill development at the central government level. Under Prime Minister Kausalya Vikas Yojana last year, we trained around 300 people in leather stitching. After the leather stitching was there, we found that these backpacks, PVC bags, lap tags, these people they can very conveniently stitch, which can be marketed. And we have got, see, this is only 300 people I am talking about. And there is a potential to have different kind of programs. Products, you are one of the main this thing in the deliverables, you put this identifying the product, packaging, branding of the product, and putting in place a digital marketing system. This is your main responsibility. Identifying the product. They already have the millets, which is like disappearing, like dinosaurs. And we have to see that they are made popular because their value is very high, and the nutritional value is very high. But it's simply
What is the product?
millets like navade, ragi. When you go there, you will know all those things. You have to market it. How do you market it? How do you brand it? Packaging, advertising, and we are not a big company to put big hoardings and other things. For that, digital marketing is the best this thing. And we have got a web. You want to improve the web, and you have got a Facebook. Put in place your earliest batches. Put in place Facebook and other thing. And now you can add Twitter, give a Twitter handle and do whatever the other possibility. Social media marketing you have to focus on. You have to identify the product. You have to design the product, design the packaging and branding. This is what you will be doing in a bigger scale, in an urban setting, in a corporate setting in future. But you do it now in a rural setting, products that can be developed, developed after training by the rural women. Imagine 20,000 women getting involved in this production activity. Our vision is that we can create a big manufacturing hub. People should be able to outsource manufacturing from this hub, and we will be playing a facilitating role.
Something like Fab India.
Yeah, you let loose your imagination, pop up all your creative abilities, and let us see what is. That is the importance of SP Jain College students coming to our organization. You should be benefited. We can simply while away time and you can go away. This time I am making a pakka arrangement. We earlier batches they all didn't have this kind of facility you had. But this time we are providing all the necessary facilities. You just will 100% get involved, come up with something which will be useful, and you should be feel proud of yourself after completing the course. That's what I expect.
So this product that you're saying is something that will be developed by these women.
Yeah, these women.
And it-
see, what happens is, if you say about, they've done come up with a very good product. You can see it in the this thing. I'll just show you.
Like, does it necessarily have to be like related to farming, or it can be
No, the
anything?
leather stitching
Ah,
was,
all those also.
I think,
Anything women are capable. See, putting in place a digital marketing place will help them to market any of their product. First is one system. Second is identifying the product. Third is branding. Designing on the package. Package is important. 1 millet, 2 kgs packet, they'll show you. They have got their own ideas. You improve on that. When Korak cloth material with thread, jute thread is tied. 2 kgs packet will be there, ragi or navane or whatever. And on that Grama product, a product of gramachitraga.org. Grama logo has been under, it has been registered under Trademarks Act. We can ensure various commercial establishments to provide material and ask women to engage women to develop it, and they can take it. They can pay the labor cost, because Grama cannot become a business entity as an NGO. It's got listed because we are under Section 12 of the Income Tax Act getting the tax benefit. These implications will be there. Now GST will come into place. Various kind of things. Let's keep the commercial activities away, but we'll let Grama get involved in the ensuring the production, identifying the product, producing the goods. It's a major challenge. It will be a big satisfactory thing that you will be doing, and please get yourself 100% involved. See, I don't put any restriction. Your organization expect that we have to evaluate your involvement and other things. That's secondary, forget about it. For your own satisfaction, do something wonderful. You plan something where we can engage 20,000. See, 20,000 will grow to 1 lakh. But I don't have an answer, I don't have the facility. First put in place a business model, we can generate income. Once you put in place, this is a very critical stage in which Grama is now. And you are lucky to have this opportunity of contributing. So you put in place a system so that this 20,000 women, we will be able to support 1 lakh or 10 lakh women in the future. You have to lay down the foundation for that kind of big thing that's going to happen in the future. I'm pinning a lot of hope on you people. It's good that there is a small team. A bigger team means we also don't know what each one is doing and other thing. We have also put in place daily performance report which has to be reported. That's what I monitor your work, and instructions are given, I already told you. And your presence should be really put a stamp in the organization's lifetime, and it should really have a social impact on the women. To empower women, your contribution is expected to be of great importance. Okay? What is that?
So the two things that we will directly work on is first that LEVA, second is this product branding, packaging, marketing.
Pardon? First
LEVA,
one?
first land as an
See, institution building and land as an these things you understand. You make a report. By the end of this thing, you can give a report. That's the assignment given by the organization. For every batch, organization will give one more assignment, common to all of you, to come out with this answer. That's one part. This one is a long-lasting and very impacting on the lives of the situation that you should take seriously. I don't know what happened.
If you scroll down, I think we can see.
this one.
I think you need to log in.
No, we can see it.
You can see all that. If you want, I'll share your work done by your previous batch. That is also useful. This is the award ceremony in the SPJM college.
Yeah.
we have attended.
You were there?
Yes,
Yes.
we were part of the audience.
Okay, there were visitors. Every event you have to train our people how to make it live. Huh?
Mm.
All, see, these are the products.
These are the leather stitching.
No, I had asked you people to go through it. I don't think you had time or whatever it is. Because to have an idea about before coming and meeting me. Anyway, I have given a sufficient explanation to whatever that is happening, what is expected of you. Please, in this background, you check out, you create a document or whatever in the Google Drive and put what are the deliverables. You identify the deliverables, you commit to that. That's what you should fulfill by the time you have completed. This is the kind of thing. When they are capable of doing it, they are capable of doing many things. And why you are talking about millet is one more thing. Farmers, we have an experience. Farmers, they are in a terribly peculiar situation. People offered us land. We grew around 80 quintals of ragi. I was in service till then. I asked them to take it to the market, Chalakere APMC market. They took this 80 quintals of ragi to this thing. First, somebody called me and said that our staff, sir, 1,400 rupees per quintal. I just say, Amen Matadapa, because I had seen in the paper 2,100 was the rate quoted per quintal of ragi.
Oh.
And after 1 hour he calls me and said, sir, 1,500 they are ready. I said I didn't respond then also. Then he called me again and said 1,600. Every hour you are increasing, what is happening there? He said 1,700, 1,750. I said, you please take all the goods, come back. We'll first try to understand what is happening. There are commission agents, they are sitting there. We are supposed to get a good rate. What I had seen in the market was 2,100 in the morning. And started with 1,400 ending up 1,700. What should be happening? And when the farmers go to there, they are cheated. People, Hamalis, they simply steal their product. They can't do anything. That is the kind of situation that is created. So we also wanted to find an answer. NABARD has asked us to start asked us to give us a proposal for farmers producers organization. See, these institutions, of course, good. They are all doing some good examples are there. They are only one like Amul, like our dairy, Bangalore milk dairy and all these things. There are one good examples are there. But what is happening now? They are under the control of some politicians. For namesake, they are farmers organizations. So, okay, we will do that, we will comply. We also given submitted a proposal, but let's see what happens. But we want to put in place a system because we have got such a big network of self-help groups where we can buy, if you make the payment to the farmer when he is in the field, from there you pick this thing, little processing, whatever you do, you do a good packaging, because what we are seeing that nowadays sold at 80 rupees per kg, that highest quality is sold at for 500 rupees for half kg. In place like number 1 MG Road, Bangalore, well packed and other things. The packaging is very important. That's what I am asking you people to look at it.
So these products will be sold in urban areas also, like everywhere.
No, I don't have any idea. You tell us whether we should stick to that local area, should sell it in this thing. You are the specialists.
Okay.
We need your help to make it big, make it happen. Ask me questions. I am blank, but I have got only desire. I got some vision, I got a lot of ambition and desire, but we don't have the intellectual knowledge about that. That's what we are seeking from you. Okay, I think this kind of background is sufficient for you people to go to the field and
Yes.
take things forward. Okay,
So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now you please ask me whatever the questions you want.
these deliverables will go look at the site, like on site we'll see what the situation is and then drop the deliverables, or you want
It's up to you. You can even mid-term correction also can be done for your deliverables. There is no hard and fast rule. All that we are expected to check your involvement, commitment, your contribution and make an evaluation of your this thing. Okay? And this time you are provided not very luxurious, this comfortable stay in our Chalakere training. Earlier they used to stay in Chitradurga. Here there is a arrangement and you can stay, fully get involved. Don't think it as a holiday. If you're thinking it holiday, you're mistaking, and please don't blame us, because I had very bad night, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, one girl used to bother me, sir, my marks, they have not given good marks to me. I can't help it. Your evaluation, everything depends upon the actual input that comes. With these things, I'll close. Please come up with the questions if you have got, we can highlight.
Whatever we had, we have already
Yeah.
asked.
Pardon?
Whatever we had, like we needed clarification, we have already asked.
Okay.
If anything comes up,
We'll
reach
go
out
on
to you.
field and we'll see
Yeah.
anything comes up, we'll ask them.
Okay. So thank you very much. We'll close the discussion interaction, and you can start proceed and you can decide when you want to go and things like that. As soon as I go, I'll give you the phone numbers that whom you can contact.
Sure.
We'll take them.